We are live. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chaos, and welcome to a new episode of Take It to the Table. I am joined by none other than the regular guest Ignacio and this other waste man here that is apparently he's too important.
Yes,
He thinks he's too
I'm
important.
just advertising the great show with this beautiful replica here, better than the toy belt he likes to use for his thumbnails. Man, I don't know why he's not, but this beauty right here. Oh, look at it. Look at this thing. My God, it's a beauty. This is the Pride and Joy. And it's off the shelf for today's episode because it's here in hand, in physical form. Because this was an absolute banger of a show. Let me pop it here on the sexy table right here so I can get to admire this thing's beauty. There we go. Hey, fellas.
Now, did you get that? Did you get that through the AEW shop? Did you get it through the or Pro?
This baby replica has a story to it, history, shall we say? When I went over for Revolution this year, I knew I wanted something from AEW. I wanted shirts and all the merch, but I wanted that fucking belt. It wasn't shipped to the UK, and I knew it. If they were selling it at the event, I'm gonna get one. Rampage comes along. I went to Rampage and I was looking around, and there it was. They had 3 of these left. And I saw the price and I was like, oh, fuck it, I'm getting it. Bought it from Rampage, had it during Rampage, and it's been my pride and joy ever since.
Are you done? Are you done?
Yes, this is my pride and joy. I know Chaos that I said last Black Panther was overrated. And pretty good movie. So I'll do another thing to piss you off there. I also think, what's her name? Some singer. Oh yeah, Beyonce. I think she's a bit overrated as well. A bit trash. I don't like her stuff.
Oh, I agree. I don't know why you're trying to, as if I'm going to be. You think I'm part of the beehive? I do not care for Beyonce. Whatever. You failed right there, bro.
We agree on something. We've harmonized now. We're back in sync.
Yeah, I mean, like she's great. She's a legend, but the way that people go on like about her is. But anyway, we're not talking about Beyonce. We're not here to talk about Beyonce. Let's go on Twitter for that. We're here to talk about AEW, and obviously Full Gear has been and gone. We're gonna obviously talk about some of the certain like our personal highlights of the show. We're not gonna dive into everything and go into a full review. You've got our review crew to go into that, which we're also going to be talking about them as well regarding what their thoughts on the show. As well as some of the stuff that's happened on SmackDown as well, especially with Bray Wyatt and LA Knight, what we think how that came up together, and also regarding the what you saw probably from the thumbnail regarding the Elite and Death Triangle. Do we think that the new matchups, the best of 7 series, do we think that's a bit overkill for that feud, or do you think it's the right path? We'll talk about that as well. But yeah, without further ado, let us take it to the table. Right. But first off, it has been brought to my attention, breaking news, everybody, that maybe former AEW wrestler Andrade El Idolo has basically posted he made a place in a new post on his Instagram, and I'll read it verbatim right now. He basically says, "I just want to say thank you. Bye. Hashtag how you know." And he's obviously he's put some little posts, put like a slideshow of certain moments that he has in AEW. So this kind of points towards that he's looking to say fuck it, and he's gone. What's the other guy's thoughts on this cryptic, maybe not so cryptic post? Like, what's your thoughts on this?
Ignacio, you can go first. Let you go first, bud.
Oh, okay. Well, I just think that, I mean, it's just Hunter was real high on Andrade, obviously, when he was NXT, and I think Hunter's gonna have a better use for him or find something for him. Maybe something with El Legado de Fantasma or whatever, what have you. So, but I don't know, man. It's one issue with him is he doesn't speak very good English, right? No. So he still needs a mouthpiece. And the Selena Vega was that mouthpiece for him in NXT and on the main roster, but she's with with Legado de Fantasma. So is he gonna go in the group? Is he gonna take over the group? Because Santos Escobar is a great talent. He's younger. Uh, I think he's built up a little bit more of a fan base now that he's gotten onto the main roster. They're trying to make him like an established, the established Hispanic star, at least for SmackDown. So dude, I don't know. It's just he wanted to leave AEW so bad, and Tony Khan. I mean, he should kind of put his foot down. I think this was the time that he could have put his foot down and say, no, bro, like, a deal's a deal. You have a contract. You need to stay, whatever it was, 3 years or 5 years or whatever. And a lot of it has to do with the way he was being booked in AEW. He was being booked very poorly. They didn't get the right mouthpiece for him, which was, I think they tried with Chavo Guerrero, but it didn't work out. So I think that Abrahantes, right? The guy, the one that was with Penta and Phoenix.
Yeah.
Right. I think he would have been a pretty good mouthpiece for him, but he was mixed up with the other two. They tried to get Vicky Guerrero. It didn't work out. So I think it was just kind of botched from the beginning, and it was like a lot of stop and starts, and he became unhappy. But still, man, I mean, a deal's a deal, and if he didn't want to honor the contract, then I don't get why. What Tony Khan should have made him do was, or maybe this is what they did was, okay, well, you got to buy out your contract. You got to pay me back whatever I paid you to get released. And that's the only way you're going to be let go. Right. Because it shows that it gives a bad precedent. It doesn't make Tony Khan look very good. And he hasn't looked very good. He hasn't looked very good in the past couple of months with everything that's been going on with Punk and Sammy Guevara and all this stuff. So I don't know. I mean, it could be good for him, but again, you're going back. Where does he fit in AEW? Now he's going to go back to WWE, and where does he fit over there?
I honestly, I agree with you, Ignacio. I agree with you 100%.
Oh shit!
Yeah, this is no joke. Don't worry.
All right. I don't know what's
it's
going
far
on.
and far between.
Right on. Yeah.
We all good, bud?
Yeah. All good.
I think that if you kind of go into your place of work wanting to punch your coworker in the face to go somewhere else, you're a bit of a dickhead, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, really, what can you do in WWE, or maybe he'll go to AAA or New Japan or something like that. I don't know. But I mean, who knows? Maybe this will all just lead to him and Charlotte Flair coming back into WWE for like the mixed gender tag match thing they'll bring back or some crap.
Oh, the mixed match challenge.
Yeah. Hey, you got Braun Breaker, Cora Jade. That could be one. Becky and Seth. You got Raquel Gonzalez and Braun Strowman. Yeah, you've got Madcap Moss and Emma. Hey,
that is fucking cringe.
Well, that's it. You brought up another issue. Is that like what's Hunter think about that? About this guy like starting fights?
Exactly.
Just to get out of a contract or try to. It's like they don't want WWE don't want like the drama that AEW has right now, right? They want to be the opposite. They want to give the appearance of a harmonious, or at least a team atmosphere in WWE, and it's the same reason why I don't think they'll bring in Punk. Is because everybody thinks that this guy's poisonous or causing issues or whatever. Why would you want to bring that into your locker room unless it's for like a one-off or something or whatever?
He hates Punk. He would look at him and be like, scum.
Yeah.
Not even worth my trampling on you.
So it's just a matter of I think it's gonna matter where he's gonna fit in, and I just don't know where he's gonna fit in. I mean, like SmackDown has Escobar, and I guess maybe they can put him on Raw, but they still got to get him a mouthpiece. Maybe they'll move up that girl that was originally with Legado with Santos Escobar.
Yeah,
I forgot her name. But he's gonna need somebody to speak for him.
Or who knows? Maybe he'll be like one of those wrestlers who just decide, I'm going to start a podcast.
Oh gosh, and what? And chat shit like Road Dogg, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna start a podcast. I'm gonna advertise. What's like not Gatorade? What's that thing Americans like? G Fuel. He'll advertise G Fuel on this podcast.
Say like I was better than Bret Hart, and I was the biggest sports entertainer and all that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I was more safe than Goldberg. I'm not that guy. Like, yeah, cool. I mean, as a fan, I liked Andrade. I really enjoyed his triple match at Rampage before Revolution. I think it was him, Sammy. I can't even remember the other person in it. Maybe it was Darby.
Oh yeah, yes,
Yeah, it was Darby.
Yes.
Yeah, that I really enjoyed that match, and I actually wanted Andrade to win.
Yeah. Cody against Andrade was great.
Yeah.
You know, he always had certain glimpses, but yeah, I agree. The booking, something, I don't know what happened, but something about the booking was just even his debut was weird. Where because it was still during the pandemic era, wasn't it? I think
It
they
was
had
at the end of it. I think it was the week before they started touring again. You know, Vicky Guerrero came out and
yes,
new talent, and then Andrade came out, and he did kind of look like $1 million, kind of like that whole swagger thing with the mask, necklace, and
no entrance music though. But yeah,
and then his match the next week, I think, was him and Matt Sydal, and he did look amazing. I love his whole aesthetic, the whole white suit, black mask. You know, basically Black Mask from DC. Love it. Just a shame what he's, you know.
Well, he's not. I mean, because he's not really your traditional luchador because he can adapt. Because he worked in Japan,
yeah,
and he worked in Europe, and he worked, you know, in Canada and stuff. So like he can adapt to different styles.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So he's a great talent in the ring, but it's just like you know, it's just WWE and where's he gonna fit in? That's where. And then is he gonna be happy there? Is he just gonna be content? Being in the upper mid card or mid card and just be happy that he's there making more money with his wife. Yeah, that's
probably. Yeah, I do kind of feel like I'm not saying that he's doing it for the money. Like obviously he wants to be happy in his craft, but I mean, yeah, if he's able to make top bank alongside his wife, then yeah, you know, and that's where it's going to be. That's the higher ceiling with him. It's only the upper mid card. But yeah. Yeah, who knows? So everyone's pretty much, by the sounds of it, everyone's pretty much confirming that it's going to be WWE bound. By the sounds of things, from what I'm getting, what I'm getting from you guys. Okay, fair enough. He's gone lost again. All right, yeah, but yeah, I think that if he does go, I think it is for the better, not just because of his backstage politics, but yeah, it's just that I feel like I don't think there's not much. I don't think there's less chance of a resurgence for him. I think the boat has already passed him in terms of momentum in AEW. They had so many chances and they kind of blew it with failed ventures and failed groups and whatnot. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens from there. But yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts on the Andrade business position. But what seems to be is pretty much all but confirmed that he's leaving AEW. I was just checking obviously how long his deal was. And I didn't realize, I thought he was there for longer, but he signed last year, June 4th last year, and it was a 3-year contract.
Okay.
Yeah, he was not there long, but it feels like he was there for quite a long time in the weird. But yeah, that's whatever happens, all the best to him. Hopefully he finds, you know, better greener pastures elsewhere, and we'll see what happens. We'll keep an eye on that. So yeah, back on course. What we're going to be talking about is, of course, Full Gear that happened this weekend, this past Saturday. Yeah, pretty much from the offset, I thought it was a very, very solid pay-per-view. I think everyone else can agree that it was very much better than All Out, dare I say. Not to say that All Out was rubbish, but definitely a very solid pay-per-view that they've had all year. One of the most solid pay-per-views. So yeah, I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on obviously what do you agree as well? What was your highlights? What was your high points of the pay-per-view? Now that Soul's pretty much come back from having a shit, what's your thoughts on Full Gear?
I love this show. I was hyped going into it, and I came hyped out of it. You know, it's if I had to like rank the pay-per-views, easily the one at the bottom is All Out. It was not a good show.
Yeah,
you know, there was definitely low points and everything with it. Double or Nothing is, I think, is solid. I don't really have too much complaints with the show. But then looking at Revolution and this one, I think there is really close to call the better show for me. Okay. I still think I definitely still think these two AEW shows are easily in the top 3 for me. Who knows when we see our end of year roundup? We got Survivor Series. Can it beat that?
Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, I mean, this has been class. I got no complaints with it at all. Except with our review team and their fucking ratings.
Yeah, we got to touch on that in a bit, definitely. But yeah, what about you, Ignacio? What's your overall thoughts? Do you agree? Was it a solid one of their best pay-per-views? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's been their best pay-per-view since last year's Full Gear, because I think this year their pay-per-views have been the shits. But I think that they had better story going in, a little bit more story going in, because besides the stuff that Punk did with like MJF and then Hangman stuff, like it's been, and then Wardlow and MJF, had been building for a long time. That was what Double or Nothing. The stories have been kind of weak. So, but this one I think it had a little bit more story. There were some things I was very high on, very, very high on. There are some things that were they're reverting back to their old methods of just screwing the pooch, as far as like building up good matches, good storytelling in the beginning, and then they just ruin it. They just throw it out the window and ruin it with antics and furniture and all that bullshit. So, my first example is I don't know if you want to get into it already, but is the what was the very first match? It was a cage match with John.
Hang on, whoa, jumping ahead there, pal. We got to talk about 0 Hour. Come on now, we can't disrespect the pre-show.
Well, I didn't even see the pre-show. Oh, I saw Kingston against another Japanese senior citizen that they got from LDP wrestling or whatever.
The mini bastard's back. Here we go.
Somebody from the Masters division of I don't know, what was it, that clown show they have over there wrestling? DDT
Pro Wrestling.
It was disastrous. I don't know what Kingston's got to do. There's an example there. Kingston, what are they going to do with him? I mean, he gets the biggest pop every time he comes out, and then they don't do anything with him. I don't know.
That's another conversation for another episode for sure. But
because since I'm the only one who seems to care, I'll go with the Best Friends, or Cassidy and Danhausen versus the Factory. I thought it was fun. Danhausen came out with his sort of like more evilish tone. Really,
that was unexpected. That was
it started going back to his Ring of Honor days, and I love that shit. That was great.
Well,
Ricky Stark and Brian Cage, cool, awesome story there. Obviously being in Team Taz, before.
Yeah.
Brian Cage was sort of the face and Ricky Starks was the heel. Now it's switched around. They were an absolute banger. I love that last few minute sections with Ricky countering Cage and then boom with the Ramshambo. Awesome. And Eddie and Jun Akiyama, fucking stellar way to hype up everything. And even Kingston's little promo just going running around the car, and then Ortiz was like, "Oh, we've only got like 5 minutes." He's like, "All right, fuck it, watch the show," and then just bolts. And it was kind of like
they mistimed it. But I'll say this: like, I like Ricky Starks a lot, because I think he's, as far as mic skills, he's on the same level as MJF. But he's a better wrestler.
Yeah.
He's a better wrestler than MJF. MJF's a great worker. Like, MJF's great at selling and stuff. But I think as far as the offense, Ricky Starks is a bit better. But so what? Okay, so what messed up the timeline or the structure of the tournament? Because once they were supposed to have the finals during the pay-per-view, right?
Yeah, I think it was a mixture of two things. I think it was Ricky Starks might have had an injury, so they were creating it, and Tony looked at the card and was like, they were too much.
Yeah,
I think it's better. It's sort of better you have the finals.
It wasn't missed. It wasn't
sort of like that refreshing thing. Like, now you've got the champ, and now you could find out next week who's going to challenge him. I like that. I got no complaints. And also Ethan Page versus Ricky Starks, banger.
No, yeah, I agree. It was. I don't think it damaged the pay-per-view whatsoever. I didn't really miss it. And it just made sense. They confirmed it was Starks was just not medically clear at the time, so they just moved it across. But yeah, I think that this was definitely probably, if not their strong, it's definitely one of their strongest pay-per-views of the year. One of my favorite pay-per-views of the year as well. The structure was great, way better and made more sense. Even though there was there was 2 matches that pretty much used the same like formula, and we'll get into what our personal highlights were, but other than that, storytelling was great, everything was solid. The right people won for the most part, including a shock win. And yeah, it was, yeah, overall very 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 good. So let's delve into it a bit more. Let's start with you, Saul. Is what was your personal highlights? What was your favorite matches of the night, and what was your, if there were any, downers? I'm still listening. I'm still here.
Ignacio, you go first, bud. Proceed. Let's get the shit take out the way first, and we can have the proper takes.
Oh my god.
All right. Well, I'll start with the first match with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. Like, the first half really impressed me. Jungle Boy got juice. They had juice because it's a cage match, and we're supposed to get juice. That's one thing they do better than WWE. They actually follow that formula. So, and they showed it, the visual with like Luchasaurus pushing Jungle Boy's face up against the cage, and then the blood coming down. That was pretty damn good. That was a good visual. So I liked it. I liked it all the way up until, and then Luchasaurus was throwing around Jungle Boy. He was ragdolling him. He was being a big guy, wrestling like a big guy, like a big man style, throwing around Jungle Boy, the undersized Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy trying to come back up from underneath, and then Luchasaurus cuts him off. So that formula was good. But then, Jesus criminy, I mean, we got to find a way, even though it's a cage match, we got to find a way to open up the fucking cage. So they do the hokey thing with Christian Cage, stealing the key, opening the door, then they kick him out. And then they just so happen to leave the cage about maybe 2 to 3 inches off the ground, right? So they can slip a table underneath it. That it lost it for me. I just said they can't get away from using fucking furniture, especially in cage matches. They got to find a way to fucking incorporate it. If it just would have, it was kept on using the same formula that then the first half of the match, then that would have been great. But that kind of killed it for me. But I mean, then it just showed to me that Luchasaurus can be serious and wrestle a good, serious big man style, and maybe Jungle Boy might have some potential if Tony Khan can just fix his booking ideals. I'm sure we're gonna get into the Elite and that later on. I'll give my opinion on that later on. So, but then it was the TBS Championship, right? Cargill and Nyla Rose. I'm gonna give my opinion on that later on when we get into the women's division and what I think they need to do there. But the 4-way match with Jericho and Danielson and for I hate 4-way, 3-way matches. I always think they're a fucking cluster, but this one, they kind of, because of the people that were involved, they made it work, right? They did good isolating somebody, keeping them on the outside, make sure there's only 2 guys in the ring, what have you. It's not an elimination match, which it should be an elimination match. But I just think every time I look at these matches, I'm like, Danielson needs to be doing something better. I think he needs to be a heel.
Technically, he is, because he's still coming out the heel entrance.
I guess I don't know. Claudio he's a great wrestler, probably the best on the card besides the best on the roster besides Danielson, but he doesn't have charisma or the mic skills. So I just have a feeling he's going to be buried not buried as in they're going to bury him, but buried somewhere in ROH if they ever decide to make that a thing again. But Jericho won. Haha, no surprise. He's the champion of an entity that doesn't exist. But I thought the match in itself, giving my personal feelings aside, for it being a 4-way match, it was done very well. Now, this was my thing. After this match, I'm looking at my clock, bro. We're 4 matches into the pay-per-view, and it's 97 minutes, over an hour and a half. Each match averaged, like, take away like the video packages and all that shit, like 18 minutes. They're fucking long when they didn't need to be that long. Especially the Jade Cargill was probably like the shortest, but it was still went on too long, and I think it exposed both of them.
Yeah.
The Acclaimed in the tag title match it definitely wasn't their best showing. Absolutely wasn't. I think they tried they never explained Anthony Bowens' injury, did they? I mean, did he get hurt on
Yeah, it
the
was Dynamite.
bench
It was
or in the
Dynamite
gym
before.
or something?
It was
Yeah.
a Dynamite before. They had a match between him and Swerve was going for the arm and like properly attacking it before the
Okay.
match.
Yeah. They
I
did
think
explain that.
the thing there is that so Bowens is a great worker and he knows how to sell injuries. That's what worked so good in their first match. So they said, let's just use that formula again. The lazy booking on Tony Khan's part. Lazy booking wants to refer back to it because the main thing of this match was the separation between Swerve and Lee. Right, that was the whole purpose of this match.
It was.
And this story was poorly done with the hokiness of the kidnapping and all that stuff. So I really didn't care much for it. I like the Acclaim, but again, I was one of those matches where I'm looking at it and I'm wondering how come FTR isn't here. And then let's see, the best match in my opinion of the night, I was very impressed with was Tony Storm and Jamie Hayter. I really enjoyed it. I think they went in the right direction. The thing with Tony Storm, this is where I learned, is that she doesn't engage the crowd, maybe because she knew she was losing. She has no charisma. She doesn't command the ring. Jamie Hayter did all those things. She engaged the crowd.
Yeah.
She pretty much in all her matches she does. She's a ring general. She was probably calling the match as she goes, right?
Yeah.
She has personality. She can talk. She checks all the boxes for a champion. So I think this was a good move for them. I think it's what they needed to do. So this was my favorite match of the night. I think this was the best match of the night. And then I'll just very quickly because I'm going to get into a little bit later on the women's division. But in the main event, I thought it was predictable what was going to happen. I think a lot of people said that Regal was in a turn. It's a Moxley match. Moxley didn't juice, did he?
No, for once he didn't. No.
So I was surprised at that. I think
I got some of my reservations with Moxley as well, which we'll talk into.
Yeah, I got Moxley's garbage.
I wasn't gonna go that far, but
hang on there. Fucking hell.
He's garbage. Yeah, he's a garbage wrestler. I think he needs to take a very, very, very long break. But it was an okay match. It wasn't MJF's best performance, but I thought he did well. I thought the ending was kind of predictable, so it was kind of just there for me. But I was just glad that MJF's going to get an opportunity to carry the banner, and let's see what he can do at 26 years old, very young. You're depending on this guy, this man who likes to do the media, and he likes to do the podcast, and he dresses professionally, and he's for the most part he's always in character. You're counting on this 26-year-old. Even though he's years beyond what he's presented himself as, you're counting on him to carry the company. So we'll see what happens.
Indeed. Very interesting.
So
that
overall, it was their best, but not. I mean, you're talking about the biggest turd out of the punch bowl. So
here we go.
So would you care to rebuttal, please?
Yeah, of course. Let's start with the beginning. Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy. Obviously, All Out was meant to be Christian Cage and Jungle Boy. I feel like that was meant to be the end of the feud, and they course corrected well. Like I said before, when I said with All Out, if this match All Out will mean something if what they develop after it, and it means something now because we've had a blood feud. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus doing some stuff, and then they did the Toronto show, and it was there, and he's beaten to a point. He's like, all right, I know I can beat you, and I'm gonna do this on my terms. I'm doing it in a steel cage, and I think AEW have done steel cage matches well, and this one here is a confirmation that they have continued to do that well. I really liked this match. I thought Jungle Boy looked amazing. Luchasaurus looked great as well. It makes me wonder. Obviously, Jungle Boy needs to beat the final boss, which is Christian Cage. Hopefully, Christian will be back in action soon because I do like Christian in the ring as well. For Luchasaurus, it makes me wonder what's next for him as a single competitor. Does he go in the TNT Championship reign? Does he just be like a monster heel, sort of like Kane that's just brought in to devastate and then go away for a bit? But you could think, oh, that's maybe a Lance Archer role. Or does he go to Ring of Honor and that's where somewhere he could thrive and develop more as a single competitor? Not too sure, but hey, I'm still happy with this match. Then moving on to the Elite versus Death Triangle. Oh, the entrances were fucking beautiful. Death Triangle coming out looking awesome, and then Wayward Son by Kansas playing as the Elite come out. Elite looking like $1 million, and the crowd with the fuck CM Punk chants.
Yeah, that did not go amiss.
My days, they were loud.
Yeah,
and you could see the Elite just being like,
they were grinning. They were just like, yeah.
They were just like, this is our win. This is what we need to win. We just need that. Colt Cabana chants as well. Is Colt Cabana chants becoming the new CM Punk chants?
Mm-hmm.
I see that. But yeah, I love every aspect of this match. Kenny and Pac going at it. The Bucks and the Lucha Bros have been a historic rivalry in AEW's history. Even the Bucks going over the ring, and I think it was Matt was standing at the barricade, and someone handed him a drink, and he was like, cheers, mate. Rehydration.
Hey, you have to double check. It was that. What is that? Is that beer? What is that? Okay,
It's diet Pepsi. I got to stay in fit here.
Yeah.
And then the ending, I loved it how Pat gave Ray the hammer earlier in the match, and he was like, nah, I'm too good. And then he gave it again, forced it in his hand. He was like, right, this is the one-winged angel. I'm not kicking out of this. It's now or never. Bang! Right in the head of Kenny and pins him. Yeah. That shocked me. I mean, I think we all thought the Elite were going to win that and get the titles back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I mean, hey, get to see this a couple more times on Dynamite. I'll fucking take it. I ain't going to complain. I love it. And then there was Nyla Rose and Jade Cargill, which is just a Jade Cargill match at this point. It's just to build up the streak, which I think is obviously waiting on Chris Statler coming back. It's nice to give her to something to do, but it was something. It was something.
it is what it was. What it was.
Yeah. And then the Ring of Honor 4-way. Oh, that was good. That was really good. I honestly didn't know if that was better than the Elite versus Death Triangle. Just with how great the chemistry was, everyone working off each other. The whole Sammy and Jericho tension as well. They started punching each other, and it was that bit where Jericho rested on Sammy, and Sammy was just like, haha, JK, old man, and just picked him up for the GTH.
Yes.
And then the 450 off the rope. I honestly thought Sammy had it then. I honestly thought Sammy was going to win it. And now Jericho's still the champ. What does this mean for final battle? Who will challenge Jericho? Who knows? I hope it's going to be something good. And then after, I think, was Britt Baker and Saraya. Saraya's first match, 2017. Yeah, she can still go. She can still go. She was very, very entertaining. It's glad to see that she's got that spark back. See with her brother Zach Zodiac in the ring not ringside as well. It's that pure passion. Even that bit where she went down and was like, I think I've done my wrist in it. And so Dab's like, haha, bitch, I ain't going down easy. I loved it. I think the right person won as well. Cementing that she can still go and hang, and going with the top women in the promotion, honestly, was great. Exceptional, really exceptional. And then afterward was the TNT Championship 3-way with Samoa Joe.
Oh, that's got a nice twist.
Yeah. And Wardlow. I'm surprised who won. I Joe winning surprised me, but I kind of dig it. I do think Joe's awesome.
I was fully expecting Hobbs.
I was fully expecting Hobbs. I honestly thought Hobbs was going to win, but Joe being a double champion, what does this mean for final battle? We're going to see maybe a title unification match or something on the ladder match. What does it mean? I don't know. I'm excited. I mean, they are technically both kind of television championships. Yeah. I could see a unification match happening, and maybe it being Hobbs going against Joe. I take that. I mean, I know you're being a bit of a cynical bitch, but that's nothing unusual there.
No, I like Hobbs, and I wish it was Hobbs, but I mean, it's just like it's a television title. They don't have TV. Well, it's so it's just, I like Hobbs. I think they should be doing better stuff with them. But yeah,
I'll quickly finish up here with Jamie Hayter and Toni Storm was really good. I think it's easily in the top 3 best women matches in AEW's history, with Britt and Thunder at the St. Patrick's Day, this one, and I definitely think Serena Deeb and Hikaru Shida is up there.
Oh, as well. Really? I thought he was going to say that. That hardcore match they had.
The New Year's, the Bunny. Yeah, I honestly thought that as well. But I just think Hikaru Shida and Deeb worked so well together, and their little rivalry as well. It
Fair
really
enough.
worked. I do love that tag match at New Year's.
Yeah.
Fest. That was really good as well. I'm glad Hater won because she's over as fuck.
They finally pulled the trigger. My God.
Yeah.
Even though right now it doesn't really mean anything because it's interim, but still.
I honestly think maybe they should give Rosa until Revolution, and if she's still not back by then, I think it's that point you just really have to strip her. Give her the same time as Punk. Make it fair. If Punk,
Okay.
whatever times Punk until he came back, then strip. I know her injuries are probably maybe more severe, difficult. Everyone's medical recovery time is always different, but I think there's got to be a point where you look at it as like if they're not coming back anytime soon, you just got to pull the trigger and strip the title and make it official. And you can always do a storyline coming back. It's like I never technically lost and build something from there.
Yeah.
Tag match, Acclaim, Swerve in Our Glory. This was the blow up of Swerve in Our Glory. I loved how Keith pulled up Owens, tapped him on the back, and says like, "Kick this guy's ass, and I'm going out here. I'm going to the buffet. I'm relaxed. I'm chilling." Probably the weakest match out of the Free Trilogy. I'd still think, in chronological order from All Out to Grand Slam to now, like that's top, second, third match quality wise. I still think it was good. Main event, MJF and Mox. MJF is world champion. The goddamn matches and promos we're going to see, this man's probably going to be on Dynamite every single week. Either just talking or match wrestling or whatever. The dude's going to be here prominently, and I'm all for it. And yeah, I love this show. Loved it. I usually give it maybe a 9 out of 10. Honestly, I really, really love this show. And we're getting BT back later today, so fuck yes. Bring it.
Yes. Bring the Elite is back on. Yeah, from today. Yeah, that's long overdue for sure. Fair play. I agree. I pretty much near agree with everything that you said with all the matches and the match quality. Almost. There's obviously, like I said, I have a couple gripes. Obviously, yeah, Jungle Boy with Luchasaurus was great. I do agree that the table spot probably shouldn't have been needed. And it kind of proved that when the tables didn't properly break, it was kind of but yeah, this was probably one of the strongest single showings from Luchasaurus. He definitely played his part well. I like the entrance that they're giving him and everything. It was mainly really imposing. My favorite match of the night was definitely Death Triangle versus the Elite, especially the shock ending was good. Obviously, yeah, I got my thoughts on that as well with the end, so we'll talk about that. Weakest match of the night was definitely Jade Cargill and Nyla Rose. I mean, I like the little tribute that Vicky did, obviously in the lowrider and everything. That was nice at the beginning. But yeah, how I feel Marina Shafir. She's just a charisma vacuum. She didn't do anything of any notice. The Fatal 4-Way was great. Was very, very good. Perfect chemistry between all four of them. The ending was a bit sloppy. I don't know what Jericho was trying to do at the beginning. Like I know he tried to do a flying Judas effect, but it wasn't clean at all. So it kind of like but yeah, what happens with final is it Final Battle? Is that the name of the pay-per-view?
Yeah, Final Battle,
yeah. We'll see what happens from there. I think didn't Orange Cassidy say he's got someone in the wings for him?
Yeah, Jake Hager. That they're facing off on Dynamite or Rampage this coming week.
Yeah, Cassidy and Jake Hager, but I think Orange Cassidy said he's got someone, a Ring of Honor champion.
Oh yes, Tomohiro Ishii will be facing Jericho.
Oh yeah, there you go. Okay, forget that. Yeah, okay, never mind then.
Soraya, you mean the big block of cheese with arms and legs?
No, the Bulldog, mate. One of the greatest, great never openweight champion, one of the greatest in history. So hey, come on, respect the man, respect the name.
I mean, fair enough, but we all know who's gonna win that. But we'll see what happens on that one. Soraya and Britt Baker, great showing from both of them. Happy for Soraya. It's like she never left. It was very good. Samoa Joe, that was a nice surprise, very nice surprise regarding that. Sting and Darby, yeah, we didn't even say much about Sting and Darby, Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. I thought for what it was, even though it was it did feel like a TNA Impact rerun, just obviously added Darby Allin to the mix.
I mean, the crowd were chanting TNA at the start of it.
Yeah, it was definitely something
impact over in years.
Say again?
That's like the most impact's been over in years.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I said like Jarrett looked really good.
Oh, he's hell yeah.
And I'll say this, And this is the one thing. This is the their fucking production is that. So they did that spot where Singh caught out Darby, right?
Yes.
And then he carried him all the way into shoulder, and when he threw him on the ramp, it looked like Darby landed head first. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit, he knocked the shit out of him. And then they shot it from another angle, and he landed right on his shoulder. I was like, what the fuck? Why the fuck would you do that? That looked like a great spot. Other than that, like there was like a lot of backlash, like as far as like Sting and why is he doing this or whatever. Dude, he only wrestles like once every 3 months, and if he's good to go, he's good to go.
He does it well. He's great, except for the finish. The finish was botched. That was a bit with the
I didn't mind it. Honestly, I didn't think it was too much of a botch. I thought it was sort of like it's now or never. I got to get him down, and he just went for it.
Well, my thing is that they beat Jarrett. They've been beating Lethal like a drum since he started, which I understand. and Jarrett lost his first match in, so it's maybe where do they go from here? Like I still think Jarrett should have somehow stayed in WWE. I know it wasn't his decision, that's for sure, but it was Hunter's. But I mean, I still think he would have made a good like on-screen heel commissioner or general manager or whatever. But
I think
they're not going to use Jarrett right. I
think that what's going to happen. It wouldn't surprise me if Jarrett and them guys are going to turn on Lethal, because obviously Lethal did shake Darby's hand at a couple months ago. He obviously took the loss. So don't be surprised if Lethal's going to turn face after this. It wouldn't surprise me. They're just going to just out him out of the group, whatever they called. I don't think they called anything, are they?
They're just a team. They're just the boys.
Yeah. the boys. But yeah, that was fun. Jamie Hayter against Toni Storm was great. There was at times where I thought like Toni Storm was like the female John Cena. She was like, she got everything thrown at her. She was kicking out. But yeah, it was cool. The Acclaim versus Swerve No Glory was also good. Definitely, I say is their weakest. I think it's very hard for them to live up to what they did the first time. Because I think that was just a lightning in the bottle. So it's hard to replicate that. But yeah, the why I said that they pretty much use the same thing is they use the same thing in this as it did in Elite and Death Triangle with the weapon. But it was just like why use the same thing twice? But yeah, it is what it is. Main event, MJF, John Moxley, obviously the right person won. We all knew that was going to happen. If it wasn't Regal, it was probably someone else that was going to turn. But yeah, MJF was obviously going to get the win. My gripe with John Moxley, I don't know how you feel about this, but I'm starting to feel like he's being. Say again?
That he's garbage.
No, keep quiet. I'm not saying
accusations. We will not have that stand in this place of holiness. I said you were fucking throwing accusations around. False accusations.
I just think that especially this one and also last week Dynamite, he seems to be very disinterested. I don't know if you saw his mannerisms, especially when he got beat down last week. He was like no selling everything. It was really, really odd. Especially in this one, like he really healed it up. He looked like he really didn't care. I know he was obviously in a hostile crowd because obviously it's New Jersey. But yeah, it really felt like he just did not care anymore. Like he just wanted to go home. I don't know what it was, and it kind of really put a dampener on the match and even the build up to the fight, because I remember he was getting beat down by Lee Moriarty and W. Morrissey, and he was just sitting there, he just didn't bother to like sell it or anything. It was really weird. But that's my gripe with John Moxley. That's what I wanted to say regarding that. I don't know if you guys noticed that or agree with that. But
I was having too much fun. Apparently, people can't have fun anymore watching wrestling. It's always going to be.
I'm just saying. It was just kind of to put a dampener on it. But yeah, I digress. Whatever.
Now we're done there. How about we get to our review team? Because I was on a live call with them, and I was fucking not happy with them and their fucking ratings.
Yeah, and flipping out. Yeah, so yeah, we'll get into obviously Asuka versus Rhea Ripley confirmed for tonight. Okay. Let me just go get the matches up, which I have them right now. So yeah, we'll go into the ratings with each match that they've basically said. So Jungle Boy versus Luchasaurus. This is out of 5 stars. Is correct?
Yes, this is our reviewing team have a rubric. If you want to find it, check it out.
They gave it 5. They gave it 5 stars. Is that what you said?
No, it's out of 5 stars.
Yeah, it's up to 5.
Put your hearing aid on, old man. Put your hearing aid on.
Ah!
So moving on. Okay, so they gave the first match, Jungle Boy versus Luchasaurus, 3.5 out of 5. Clearly you did not read this correctly because Ignacio, you're triggered in this one. You said 4 out of 5. What? Turds. I like the first half of the match, but second half killed it. They didn't say 4 out of 5. They said 3.5, bro.
They changed it. That's what
No,
they did.
you get
can't change the post.
They changed it.
Big news. I was lied to. I was had. It was a 4.5. It was a 4.5. It was a 4.5.
I'll say this for now. It's like I probably would have given it like 2.5, 2 1/4, 2 3/4. But I mean, proceed.
Okay.
I'll give my comments. Yeah, later on.
Death Triangle versus the Elite. They gave that one 3.5. And you got triggered, Soul. You said utter bollocks, an easy 4.5 match. And then Ignacio said
like people agree with me. The people agree with me. 26 likes. I'll take it.
and then Ignacio came up. Match was an embarrassment. Time and time ago, these guys embarrassed the business. You only got 4 likes on that, so sorry about it, Ignacio. Jay Cargill, 2.25 out of 5. I can agree with that one. I can agree with that.
I feel that's fair.
Jericho, a bit of 4-way match. They gave that one a 4. I can agree with that. That's fine.
Yeah,
I can agree with that. That was fine. Saraya versus Britt Baker, 3.5. That's debatable. Maybe. Yeah.
Debatable.
Yeah, it's debatable. That's fine. The Meat Fest, Wardlow versus Joe versus Hobbs. They gave that one just a straight 3. I think that's a bit deep. I think that could have been a bit more, especially with the short win at the end.
I think 3.5, honestly.
Yeah, at least.
That's 2.5 at best.
Oh, fuck off.
The Sting match, they gave that one 3.75 out of 5.
Oof.
I'd say I think that's a bit high. I say 3.5. I say 3.5.
Agreed.
Jamie Hayter versus Tony Storm. They gave that one also 3.75.
I think that should have been a 4.
4. I mean, to be fair, that match took a bit of a while to get going. At the beginning, I was so uninterested, and it wasn't until the interferences and all the stuff happened at the end, it started getting the gear started to turn. So yeah, I think that's fair. That's all right. That's not too bad. Swerve and No Glory versus the Acclaim, 3.5.
No. It should have been like a 2.
I'd say about at least a 3. What about you, Soul?
I plead the 5th.
Oh my god. Okay, fair enough. And then John Moxley versus MJF, 4.5.
No.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
What would you give it, Ignacio?
Maybe a 3.
Oh my god, you're really
I'd say at the very least a 4. At least a 4. But yeah. I mean, are you gonna watch this match back? So would you imagine, would you watch this back in a couple of years? This match, or are you just gonna remember just the ending?
Dude, I still watch Revolution from this year back when I need a wee bit of a pick me up when I have to deal with Ignacio's bollocks for 24 hours.
You'd watch this match back for the moment, right? Because it's going to be NJS crowning moment. But this is the thing, is that this is probably their best series of ratings of matches of a pay-per-view that I've ever seen. I think there's more consistency here. I think I disagree with a lot of them, but I mean, they're not too far off, is what I'm saying. Clark and Kobe, but it's like, bro, some of these matches that they give 4, 4.5, 3, it's just like I want to have them come on the show or whatever to explain that. Why do they think, like, for example, the Elite and the Lucha Express is like 4.5 stars, 5, because it's nothing but phony bullshit that they think is good, bro. And I just want them to explain that. Why do they think this stuff is good? Like, I come on here and explain that it's phony with the leg slapping and the flip flop and hey, let me carry you to the ropes, that way you can flip on me and that, and then and falling into a crowd of 12 morons. Like, bro, that's stupid. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make it look good at all. But they give matches like that 4.5 stars. It's just explain yourself is what I'm trying to say. And then let me. I'll get into this also. I'll get into this just real quick also because I was going to get into it in the women's division. I think a lot of the latter matches suffered. A lot of the later matches suffered, or even the matches that were in the middle of the card suffered because there's too many fucking false finishes, dude. Like, they need to cut back on the false finishes, and I think that wore out the crowd.
Okay. Interesting. Fair enough. Okay.
I mean, have you guys seen like Peanuts? You know, Snoopy.
Yes.
You know how all the adults in that talk with the wah. That's why I fucking hear out of Ignacio's mouth every time he talks. I will say this though, our review team. I've looked back on some of the ratings from Crown Jewel, and you know how we hated that the tag match between Damage Control and
Yes.
That was a 3.5 star match according to them. So apparently that's the same level.
Donut, you're so stupid.
To
Sorry.
the review team, not to me.
No, yeah, to the review team. Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently that's the same level as the Elite and Death Triangle. Which, I mean, what the hell are you smoking? And can I have some?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, yeah. We need to have a nice discussion, maybe a restructuring of the review team or something. I don't know, but yeah, some of these are very debatable, I must say. And yeah, we're not the only ones, like you said. Obviously, with the elite match, everyone agreed with you pretty much. So something is awry here, but yeah, we'll see. It's biased, definitely. Anyway, that's what we think about the review team. It's all love, though. We're all one big family. We're just saying, We're just saying. All right, moving on from Oh yeah, well, quickly, whilst we're still in AEW, let's just wrap everything up with AEW. Obviously, with Bray Wyatt, the Elite and Death Triangle. Obviously, there was a shock win that Death Triangle retained. Me personally, I think politics also kind of got involved into that why they won. But I wanted to think of you. I wanted to get your thoughts, guys, on the match. The best of 7 series. Obviously, at one hand, I know they were going to try to obviously, bleed this out a little bit. But you think that the match of 7 is a bit overkill regarding this feud? There's actually needed because like they never really had any interactions before obviously the brawl out all out. So usually you do these best of 7s if it's meant to be like a blood feud type of thing, similar to what they did with Sheamus and Cesaro, or Chris Benoit and Booker T, that kind of thing. So I'm just saying, do you think this actually fits in this for this feud, or do you think it's a bit overkill?
Oh hell yeah! Of course. I mean, look at the history of the Bucks and the Luchas. Oh fuck off, cunt! Look at the Luchas took the Young Bucks' tag titles. Kenny and Pac had the triple threat with Orange Cassidy and that. So there's a lot of history there with those teams, and they and now they're facing off best of 7. It's not going to go to best of 7 because like one of the matches is lining up with Kenny's date with Ospreay in Japan for Wrestle Kingdom, so that's not happening. And also under them it says if necessary under like the future dates.
Yeah,
I think it's going to either end at Winters is Coming or the New Year's episode.
Okay,
I think that's where it'll end. I'm excited. This is going to be banger after banger after banger. The only complaint I have is why not put one of these matches on Rampage to help boost the ratings for Rampage? That's my only thing.
Well, that's how you know how much Tony Khan thinks of Rampage. No, like sure it might boost it, but I mean it's the crappy time slot. So, plus, and also they're taping it twice. And remember, they tape it shortly after Dynamite. It's not always live.
They do a live special. They've done live specials before. Could be that.
Yeah.
I mean, I love how the Americans love to complain. Oh, 10 p.m. That's too late. I can't watch it. And then we're like, haha, 1 a.m. Bitches, suck it.
Yep.
America, the bunch of whiner company. No country. Whiners.
Quiet. You remember you might be going there soon, so keep quiet. Anyway,
I'll get past World Control. Don't you worry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, let me respond to this ramblings of a madman here. So I'll say this about the match at the pay-per-view is I did like the finish. Because it was kind of continuing the story was Phoenix, does he want to turn heel or whatever? Did they want to be a full-fledged heel faction whatever. So that was apparent. I thought the finish was good. And there's one thing that I think they do with Omega that they need to do with maybe a couple of more people. I'm talking about in all of wrestling, like maybe like one or two more people, is they protect his finish.
Yes.
Right. So it's just like it's like they slipped him the hammer. It's like, oh shit, if he hits me with the one winged angel, like Soul said, I'm done. So he hit him with the hammer, whatever. And I thought it was good. I thought it was well done. Now the Elite have been established as, at least for this time, as the baby faces, and now Death Triangle are the heels. And taking my personal feelings aside, I thought that was good. But then they announced best of 7. So the difference between this best of 7 and the ones you mentioned, Chaos, was that those guys, Benoit, Booker T, Sheamus, Cesaro, like all those other guys, they could wrestle. These guys,
Oh my
can't.
God. Oh,
These
why
guys
you gonna do this?
are
Why you
an
gonna ruin it?
embarrassment to the business. You're like,
There we
shit,
go.
I
There we go.
gotta watch
Let's just
this.
stick
Like,
again. He's like a record sucking goddamn.
I'm like,
Just kick him
dude, like
to the
I
next point.
gotta watch this 6 more times. Fuck me.
Because you're a miserable shit. You're a miserable shit. You're like, oh,
Jeez.
fun. That is not in my vocabulary. All that's in my vocabulary is shit.
Okay,
90s
coming off-
tape recording,
and
depression,
this is-
and shit.
Soul brought this up. I didn't. Is that the thing that made this kind of feud or encounter special? Is that the last time that you saw these guys hook up was All Out last year.
Right.
So now you see them again in the pay-per-view. And when they got announced, the match got announced, and obviously the Elite they got a big pop at the pay-per-view. A bunch of morons. They got a big pop, and it was special to see that these guys are having another contest or hooking up again. But now they spoil it because we're going to see him 6 times in a row. So Tony Khan's a moron. Like, he's listening to the wrong people.
Let me quickly see what dates there are. Is it going to be every week? Because even I'm like,
it's going
I'm
to
not wanna
be
see-
every
So-
week. So I got to set out 20 minutes aside every Dynamite to go to take a shit, go make a drink.
But not necessarily. So there is
Read a
actually going to
book.
be a 2-week gap. So there's one on the November 23rd, which is obviously Wednesday. Then there would be the week after November 30th, and then the final one is meant to be Winter is Coming, which is December 14th. So there is a 2-week gap, and then obviously if necessary, then it will be the next 3 weeks.
Well,
So yeah, there's that. So most likely what? So Elite will probably win the second one, and then so Elite will probably win match 2 and 3, and then the final one is going to be Winter is Coming. It has to be, yeah. So I don't know. I just wanted to obviously like I said, get your thoughts on see if you do. I guess it all depends on your tolerance and how you felt with the match of the pay-per-view. If you thought that was a bit over, if you didn't really enjoy it, then
they're
yeah,
not good. They're
Well,
not
I
good
don't think that's in
wrestlers.
his
So it's gonna be-
vocabulary. I bet he's lactose intolerant as well. Cheeky fuck.
I don't mind it. I'm in two minds. It all depends on how the matches are. Like, if they're going to be full of DQs or sloppy finishes and stuff, then I might just tune me out of it. But I'm here for it. I me personally, I liked the match. I thought it was match of the night for me personally. But yeah, I just want to obviously get your thoughts on this. So very divisive. So we'll see. See, obviously, I know with Soul, I don't think he cares much about the story. He just wants to see his wrestlers and stuff.
Yeah,
and
I do
everything
like
else.
story as well. The Hangman story is
They
one of
can't
my
wrestle.
favorites of all time. Hangman Page's story of anxiety and all that, overcoming all that grief in the first 3 years of AEW has been exceptional. I think that's one of my favorite stories of all of wrestling. Easy.
Fair enough. Well, but so Ignacio, you say they can't wrestle. Are you saying all of them? Are you also classing Death Triangle? Or you just see a hatred towards the Elite?
I'm saying I'm saying all of them.
Oh my God, I can't deal with this.
I think Ignacio
Like
just
the only one who's good when he wants to be, but he chooses not to be because he wants to appeal to the trios, lucha style fan base, whatever, cruiserweight is Pac, because he can go and work when he wants to, but he chooses not to. So that makes me hate him even more.
God, I bet if you put a Fitbit on your wrist, it will just die of battery loss.
we gotta yeah, we gotta clip this and see what people think on Insta, because yeah, that's interesting. That's very, very interesting. But I digress. Fair enough. So yeah, swiftly moving on from AEW, let's go to the WWE side of things, shall we?
All right, I'm
So,
off, boys. I'm done. I'm tired.
no, no, no. It's one of your favorite parts. Don't lie. But yeah, we're not going to talk beyond it too long. So obviously SmackDown happened Friday, and the main talking points, especially amongst the Wrestling Republic community, was especially the segment with regarding Bray Wyatt and LA Knight. Obviously, so obviously, for those who haven't seen it, Bray Wyatt came out obviously with his 5-10 minute entrance. Obviously, he started having a little spiel and saying that he wants to forgive LA Knight or whatever. LA Knight came out, obviously talking his spiel as he usually does. And then obviously Bray Wyatt was like saying, "Look, I'm not really a forgiving man. I would usually sorted you out by now, but I'm trying to change. Let's shake on it. Everything, let bygones be bygones. You got me, I got you. We square, all that kind of stuff." And then and LA Knight basically said, "Let me talk to you," and then he slapped him, trying to run out the ring, and he was just like, "Okay, cool, we're even." And he was just like, "Cool." Bray Wyatt said, "That's fine." Wanted to shake hand again, slapped him again, and then he walked off, and then he just had that far away, stoic look. With in the screen back, the background was obviously the flickering of the Mr. Howdy, and yeah, everyone was quite divisive, especially with you guys. You basically said that was borderline dumb.
Yeah, I mean,
So
him leaning over the ropes with his eyes bulging out, looked like had suppository just been popped in his arse or some shit like that. I mean, I just hope he's doing something now instead of like the whole coming out and be like, I'm me now and I'm trying to be me. That's fine for like maybe 1 or 2 weeks. But how long are we doing this now? 4, 5? Been a while, right?
yeah, you people said the same thing
Yeah.
last time.
It's like that Monty Python meme with everyone just saying, "Yes, get on with it." I mean, I'm really liking LA Knight. You know, I remember Ignacio, you said LA Knight was going to be the future, like for WWE in your wheelhouse. Like, yeah, and I agree with that. I really do like the guy. I think he's really, really talented. But I mean, him and Bray Wyatt, what's Bray going to do? Is Bray going to be like just like a brawler now? Is he going to have some supernatural elements? Is he going to do like the whole back roll thing? Is he going to make is the whole arena going to be flooded with red lights again?
Oh,
what are we getting? What are we getting?
Well, the thing is, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think LNA was an interesting choice to pick. I think that the main reason why they picked him was because he can cut promos, and I really don't think they're gonna do anything real with him beyond being a mid card staple, because he's a little bit older. He looks great, but he is a little bit older. He's 40, 41. So it was an interesting choice. Right when I was getting to where kind of getting a little tired of the Bray Wyatt stuff, they did the stuff with LA Knight last week, and then this week, yeah, dude, I just think it was a little hokey. Like, it was just like, tag, you're it. No, now it's me. Now I hit you back. After Bray Wyatt headbutted the shit out of him and embarrassed him on national TV, you're gonna go in and just like slap him? Wouldn't you want to charge the ring and try to beat the shit out of him? Like,
Yeah.
It's just like they definitely could have gone a better way, several avenues, but they went this way. So I was thinking, I was like, maybe Bray Wyatt doesn't have as much control over what goes on as we all thought, because I think this is kind of Vince McMahon-ish, the way they did this. But you know what? It's all gonna lead to what happens at the pay-per-view, because I don't know if they've been confirmed yet for Survivor Series.
No,
but it's going to be what happens there and the presentation they have there, and probably what the final straw is going to be is, I assume that Bray's going to have a big match at Royal Rumble, because that's the next big pay-per-view, and I think that's going to determine whether people are going to, whether this is good, whether it's tolerable, or whatever, because wrestling fans have short attention spans nowadays. And I'm willing to let it play out to see what happens. But I think Royal Rumble, late January, is going to be the time whether people are going to be with this or they're not. So the first piece or the first I guess test is going to be Survivor Series and what's going to happen with the presentation, the entrance, the way they work the match, the way Bray presents himself, so forth and so on. And then, you know, a lot of people, if they don't think it's good, they're going to cut him off there. But if they show some signs of light that this is going to be interesting, you know, then I think the last straw is going to be Royal Rumble, whoever he faces there, because I don't think he's going to be in the Royal Rumble match unless he's going to win it. But I think Royal Rumble will probably be the cutoff where they're going to be on board with this or just, you know, give up on Bray.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be mine. It's going to be mine, whether, you know, what they do from now till Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble is going to be my cutoff, you know, as far as like, you know, is this guy the real deal? Are they going to do so? He's going to be a major player or not?
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. We'll see. We'll see. Everyone's tolerance level is different, but yeah. Even I'm just like, okay, where the hell is this going? It's too vague right now. It's being very vague, and it's biding its time now. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. Fair enough. Okay, so the last thing we're going to talk about is basically, well, Ignacio is going to go shooting season as if he hasn't been doing this whole show. And he's going to be talking about his thoughts on the women's divisions in both WWE and AEW. Is that true? Is that correct?
Wow, an American shooting.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think they have different problems. Okay. I think with AEW, we saw a little bit of that. We saw a lot of it at the pay-per-view with Jade and Nyla, and they try to give Jade a lot of TV time, especially on Rampage. I guess Rampage is supposed to be her show, right? But I think the problem is that like when AEW started their women's division, they didn't have mega stars like they did coming in like the men's division, like with Jericho, Cody, you know, the Elite, if you want to, whatever. Moxley came in not too long after they started, so they didn't have the mega stars that the men had, and I think they basically had the best of what was in the indie pool, the independent wrestling pool. They brought in the best indie wrestler. They didn't get Tessa Blanchard. She wasn't available, or she might have been in trouble by then, or I can't really remember the time frame. But
I think she was still with Impact at that point. If I'm
okay, yeah, they okay, all right. So they didn't get.
It wasn't like one of their biggest female signees at 2019. Wasn't it like Awesome Kong or something like that? If I'm correct,
they had, and then she I don't know if she got injured or she got just kind of. I know they tried to do something with Brandy Rose, but anyways, that was the issue. And I think is an issue now, and it's more apparent with Jade Cargill more than anything else, because she's the one they're trying to make a star, is that, number one, they don't put her with veterans that can make her better. And I think if Jade had more time working with like Thunder Rosa, she did more matches with Serena Deeb, if she did more matches if she had more matches, or will do more matches with Thunder Rosa and maybe Britt Baker, Jamie Hay, if she works with the women that can work, I think she'll get better. I think another issue is they don't wrestle enough. Basically Rampage and Dynamite is one show, because they'll film Rampage I think 3 times out of the month they'll film Rampage after Dynamite. So she only gets one match once. Jade Cargill only wrestles once a month. So then she needs the reps. That's one thing I think that's apparent also with AEW in the men's division, is that they don't tour because they don't have the money or whatever. So she doesn't get the reps she needs to get better. And when I used to go to a lot of independent shows, like on the weekends, like at one point I was going every weekend. I used to talk to the guys, and a lot of the guys you see on AEW, a lot of the guys you see on AEW, like Sammy Guevara, Ricky Starks. Like a lot of the guys, I used to talk to them at indie shows. A lot of the guys, they're in MLW or they're like on Dark or whatever. But they say that they used to tell me the same thing, that we didn't necessarily get better wrestling each other because they're all at the same level. They build chemistry with each other. But like one told me one time that I think he should be on TV, but he's not. Is I got better when I used to wrestle like MVP. Because MVP, before he joined WWE, was on the indies. Because I got better wrestling like MVP, Juventud Guerrera, Psychosis, working with like Kevin Sullivan and Teddy Long and talking to those guys. So I think that a lot of the problems that are in the women's division is because they're not working enough and they're not working with veterans consistently. I think that's the main issue with Jade Cargill. And I think that's where they need to get better. Like, I think where Saraya is going to be more of a benefit is backstage and working with the talent, because this was my thought of the match. I thought Saraya worked like somebody who broke her neck twice and hadn't been in the ring for 5 years. I'm not saying it was underwhelming, but I think she worked safely, and I think they protected her neck, and they also turned it into an angle during the match by working the necks, which they would have been stupid not to. But I don't think it was I don't think it was a 5-star performance or anything like that. I just thought it was a match for match sake. And if you go back and look, I think that the crowd wasn't very engaged in the match, and I think that also had to do with the false finishes. But I just think it was a match for match sake, and she wasn't that impressive, but she worked too safely. But given her circumstances, I understand. But I think where she can be most effective is working with girls like Jade Cargill and being that locker room leader that the AEW women's division needs. I think that's where she's going to be more of an asset, Saraya, in that respect. I think that's the main issue is the women don't get enough reps. They need a true locker room leader, and they need to work with veterans more often, which the AEW is not going to tour, at least not anytime soon. So where are they going to get those reps on dark? Where are they going to get them? So I think that's an issue. Now on WWE side, I just think it's a lack of not so much character development, but I think that is an issue with Dakota Kai and Io Shirai, because like a third or even half, sometimes if you're talking about SmackDown, of the people that watch the shows, they don't watch NXT. So they didn't know who Dakota Kai necessarily was, or Io Shirai. So I think that was a lack of the character development there. They tried to give them the rub by putting them with Bayley. But I just think, they need to start building more stars and not too quickly. Like, I think Bianca Belair is going to be a star, but then it goes in, they put her to work with Bayley, but they just didn't have chemistry. And that's because they've been working in the house shows, right? But I just think it's miscasting, it's lack of character development. Like, I think Bianca needed to work more probably with Charlotte and Becky and Sasha, if she decides to come back, hopefully. But I think with WWE, it's a lot of miscasting. Like, another example is Raquel Rodriguez. Like, dude, like that would have been a perfect time to reintroduce Raquel Rodriguez as like Rhea Ripley's opponent, right? Their counter to the Judgment Day was because she's built like a brick shit house. She's like a legit 6'1". She's just as big as Ripley, but they bring in Mia Yim, who's this nerd with blue hair, and she's supposed to be intimidated by Mia Yim. So I think it's a lot of miscasting. It's a lot of that they want the fans to be familiar with these personalities before they jump to the main roster, and they got to understand that not everybody watches NXT. So I think with WWE, the issue is with the women's division is, number one, their stars are gone. Sasha's not there. Becky's not there. Charlotte's not there. They're depending on Bianca to hold the flag when she can't because she's not ready yet. And I think it's a lot of lack of character development for the women they're bringing in. Candice LeRae is another one. Well, the only people that really knew who she was the people that watched NXT. So I think it's just miscasting and character development. They need to do a little bit better as far as their mid-card women and the women in NXT, as far as getting them more exposed to the main roster and developing their characters. I'll tell you real quick, one person that they're doing with that in NXT, I believe, and I think if they slowly try to bring her up little by little to Raw and SmackDown, just giving her little appearances or little vignettes, is Kiana James.
Okay.
She's the businesswoman, whatever, trying to buy out Chase University under them or something or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think she has good. She's good at speaking. She's not afraid. She's comfortable doing the vignettes and stuff. She's a natural talker. Sure, she needs good in-ring work, but they need to do a little bit as far as like, bring these girls once in a while up from NXT, to kind of so the crowd can get familiar, so the main audience get familiar with them. And somebody that they totally botched, that I don't think there's any way she's going to recover, is Lacey Evans. So
Where is she anyway?
I don't know. That's the problem.
Is who?
Lacey Evans.
Lacey, didn't she? She was on SmackDown the other week on that, was it 6-pack challenge, which Shotzi won. And then shortly after that, they did the backstage thing. It was on YouTube, and she's like, "It's time for a refresh." So I think they're going to repackage her again.
Oh, that's really this year.
Say again?
It's like 4 times this year, ain't it?
Yep. That's
something like that. Yeah.
I was really hard on Lacey Evans before, like, she went away. I know she had that really shit Ric Flair, Charlotte Flair thing going on.
Yeah, that's what really that would have.
But I really liked her at the Rumble. Who was it she went against at the Rumble that year? I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, I think, was she like number 1 or something? And she was like laying out everyone for a while.
Well, Bailey, wasn't it? Was it Bailey, if I'm correct? Or was
yes.
it Sasha Banks?
No, it was Bailey.
Yeah, I really like that match. Now she's not doing anything at all. Weird.
Yeah.
Well.
We'll see. I don't know what. Yeah, because I think she could be a very she has the background, all that stuff to be some type of leader in the locker room.
Like I thought, what I thought they were gonna do with her is she's got the military background. Like she was a legit Marine, so she's a legit badass by nature. I thought they were gonna make her like the female Sergeant Slaughter, like come out and make everybody, all you fat, out of shape, marks, pigs, whatever. Like give me 10 push-ups or whatever the fuck. I thought that would have been a way to go.
But they didn't know what to do with her, because like you said, she was a face, then she was a heel, then she moved to Raw, then she was on SmackDown, then went back on Raw, and it was all over the place. It was poorly done.
That promo that was all about like her mental health and everything. And the next again week she was like a heel, and so you can't just be a heel after doing that kind of promo. What the fuck?
It was so backwards, but that's obviously with Vince's regime. That's all you need to know right there. So, but yeah, no, that's a fair point. Do you have anything to add on that, Soul? Do you agree?
I'm good.
No. Fair play. No, there is some holes that needs to be filled on both sides, but especially on the AEW side, I feel like they're kind of improving. I mean, it's way better than,
It's definitely improving. Absolutely.
Yeah. They took the right step with Jamie Hayter.
Yes,
I think, and this is another thing that I forgot I was going to mention, is that I think Thunder Rosa, when she comes back, that they need to have her drop the title to Jamie Hayter.
Agreed.
And she needs to either be released or buy out her contract, because I just don't think she's, whatever heat she has backstage or whatever, I don't think she's going to be able to recover from that.
So, accusations. These are not accusations. This is false accusations. And
they just need to release her, or she needs to ask for her release, because I don't think she's going to be able to recover from whatever's going on. Because I'm not saying she's not injured, but I think there's more to it than that.
I think so as well.
She's got heat with Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter and all those girls. So I think she just needs to quietly just exit. And if she went to WWE, I think with the marketing machine they have, with the type of worker she is and the marketing machine that they have and the type of character she is or gimmick she has, I think she'd do a lot better over there. And I just think she's not going to recover from whatever is going on with her in AEW. So,
I'm just reading. Yeah, sorry. I'm just reading some news article, funny enough, and apparently Tony Khan is evaluating the situation regarding the women's title and will make a decision when he knows when Thunder Rosa may return. The party says he doesn't know.
I thought that I read somewhere that she was supposed to return in January, but I was thinking that since they're going to San Antonio late December, I think December 21st. I think we'll probably have a better idea by then whether she's gonna come back or what time frame she's gonna come back.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Well, speaking of time frames, you know who I'm kind of worried about. Was just before we wrap up. You know, I'm kind of worried about Adam Cole.
Yeah, no, I hear you there, bud. I hear you there.
It's becoming very concerning. And it's not just me. It's like also like stars, AEW stars as well is quite concerned. And you know, that's someone that I would love to. I don't think we got enough of him in AEW. So yeah, obviously hope everything is all good with him. But hopefully it's more positive news because right now it's not looking good. But yeah, he's definitely someone that I do miss. In fact, the whole of the Undisputed Era, I do miss them all.
What, even Bobby Fish?
Except Bobby Fish, yeah, definitely no. I don't. Yeah, I can do well. I can do without him. It's fine. But definitely Kyle O'Reilly and Cole for sure. Definitely.
Yeah, I hope they come back. As they had a tag team in Ring of Honor, Future Shock, I believe it was. So I hope they can come and do cool things as Future Shock.
Interesting. Okay.
I want to ask you, Chaos, on something. What are your thoughts on the new AEW Fight Forever cover?
Is expected. I like it. It's a good move. Clearly, they do not want CM Punk to have a dime from this game, so I'm cool with that. Yeah, it's fine. I'm fine. I think it's Kenny Omega at the front. I think I called it was going to be Kenny Omega. I have Kenny Omega or Moxley.
It looks like such a nice cover, though, doesn't it? That whole color and like the whole outer box.
I like the blue. Yeah,
I love it. Oh,
yeah.
I'm good for it, man. I mean, everyone's on it pretty much. Danielson's on it, Sting's on it, Baker's on it, Jade's on it, Mox is on it, Kenny's on it, Hangman's on it.
No MJF though, which I'm
MJF is on it.
Is he?
Yeah, I'm sure he is. Fact check. We get a fact check, please.
Yeah. I'm checking right now because our boss did send it to me. I'll take that back. Yes, he is. Of course. Yeah. Jericho. Yeah. Cassidy. Yeah. So all the right people are on it. So yeah, I can't really force it. Ooh, hold on. I'm good. Yep. Cool.
Yeah. Destroying his cake there, Jesus.
No, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The gameplay, even the new gameplay that's been shown, I freaking love it. And yeah, it's gonna get played to death, 100%.
Hell yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
All right, cool. And on that glorious note, we've come to the end of the show. As always, thank you very much, Ignacio, very much so for your passionate thoughts on the product and what we deem right is that we know well before the
we're coming up to Christmas time, so I'll send you. I know if you've just said you don't like her, but I'll send you a few Beyonce albums. Perfect Christmas present. I think you'll love that. Get you in the mood. Was it single ladies? Single ladies, yeah, you'll like that.
Single ladies. My God,
you can sing that. Just play that. Dance with your toy AW belt.
Moving straight on. Anyway, as always, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Goes a long way. There's any announcements from you, Soul, for the Soul sessions?
Actually, yeah, there is. Actually, my next guest.
Good. No one cares. All right, moving on. No. Carry on.
I mean, nah. Hey, I'll save it for my show. I'll save anything else for my show. Man.
No, it's okay. It's all love. You know I love you. It's all good.
You too, can. So my next guest, episode 29, will be Daisy Jenkins. She's a local wrestler in Fife. She has done some great stuff, especially in the month of October. She was non-stop bangers everywhere. She was in Y Discovery here in Edinburgh. She was up in ICW. She was everywhere. And she even wrestled like at a Comic-Con as well. We talk about like getting into the business, training regime, and having her stuff, her matches being on the WWE network, through ICW, and what does that mean for her, and what kind of pride and accomplishment she feels having her matches be on the same kind of platform as Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair. It'll be a great one. That'll be coming out soon.
All right. Nice. Be sure to go check that out, everybody, on the Wrestling Republic channel. Also follow us at Wrestling Republic on Instagram, so you'll be there for all the latest rants and awesome reviews that we give on the pay-per-views and everything else. So yeah, 2 seconds. Ooh. Whoa.
This man ain't getting no rest.
Damn it. It's like a flipping circus in my place. Anyway, yeah. I gotta jump out. Anyway, my name has been Chaos. He has been Soul. Down there has been Ignacio. This has been Taken to the Table, guys. Peace.
Aha.